This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
We're looking at other people's sales funnels. We're buying their product. We're going through the process to see what it is. And then we're coming back and not that we're copying them, but we're understanding like, this is what they did to be successful in this market. Like I need to probably make something that structurally is similar.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle. Welcome back to another edition of the List Building Lifestyle with your host, Igor Kheifets. And today I'm hosting Russell Brunson. Now, this guy needs no introduction, but in case you don't know who Russell is, he's a serial entrepreneur who started his first online business when he was wrestling in Boise, Idaho, in a university. And within a year of graduating, he actually sold over $1 million worth of products and services from his basement. Now, for over 10 years, Russell has been starting and scaling companies online. He owns a software company, a supplement company, a coaching company, and he's one of the top super affiliates in the world. Now, Russell has also authored a book called .com Secrets, the underground playbook for growing your company online. And I mean, what have you not done? I mean, you've pretty much done it all online, haven't you?
I've been trying a lot of failures, a lot of good ones. It's been been a lot of fun along the way, though, for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean you're everywhere. I mean, just recently you've done the funnel hacking event, right? I mean that was just a huge thing in our industry. Everybody went there, besides me, probably because I'm too scared to get my ass on a plane. So how did the event go?
You missed it. No, it was amazing. We had almost 1,200 people there this year, which was crazy. We did one last year that had about half that many people, and this year it was bigger and better, and it was amazing. It was fun getting a whole bunch of like-minded people together in a room and talk about sales funnels and all that kind of fun stuff. So we had a great time.
Nice. And I think that's like the only real event where you break down funnels, right? I mean, you coined the term funnel hacking. What does that mean? Let's break it down for our listeners.
Yeah. So funnel hacking is, it's funny. When we first launched our software company, ClickFunnels, I thought like overnight it'd be this huge success and that we'd get, 1 million members in one night. Right. And it didn't happen. In fact, our initial rollout was a huge bomb. And I'm like, why are they signing up? And I was like, I got to figure this out because like this tool that we created in my mind is the greatest gift we could ever give our community, but nobody understood what it was. And I started thinking about like, how do I look at business? Like when I'm going into a market, how do I create something that I know is going to be successful up front the first time? And I looked and I said, what I do is we go and we find other people in the market that we're in or that we want to be in, and we see what they're selling and how they're selling it. And we buy their product and we look at, what the offer is and what's the upsells and the downsells and what's the email sequence. And we look really deep at what they're doing so we can find out what's actively working. And then we kind of, after we've reverse engineered their sales process, then we kind of rebuild it again. And so, and I was trying to explain it to some of my list and people that were following us at the time. And I was like, I need to think of a cool name. I got to coin a name for this so that they, so it's not just like go reverse engineer someone. And one day it just popped out the word funnel hacking. And I was like, that's what we're doing. We're funnel hacking. We're looking at other people's sales funnels. We're buying their product. We're going through the process to see what it is. And then we're coming back and not that we're copying them, but we're understanding like, this is what they did to be successful in this market. Like I need to probably make something that structurally is similar, right? If they have a free plus shipping product on the front end and a $200 upsell, I'm going to make something free plus shipping and a $200 upsell because they've proven that works. They went ahead and kind of paved the way first. They were a pioneer and they proved that something works. So I'm going to create, obviously my own products, my own services, but I'm going to model the sales process because they've perfected that. And so that's what funnel hacking is looking at what other people are doing that's currently working and then modeling it. And as we started teaching that, people got it and they started understanding and they started seeing like, like Russell, in fact, I had one of my friends and students, he told me one day, his name is Justin Brook. I think you know Justin, but he said, Russell, he's like, I realized something really interesting today. I'm like, what's that? He's like, you're really not that smart. I'm like, all right, thanks, Justin. He's like, no, he's like, you just look at what's working and then you model it. Like that's the big aha. He's like, you're not a genius. You're not some, marketing superstar. You just are smart enough to look at what's working and you model it. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of it. And so as we started showing people that, they realized that, wow, I can do this as well. And then we showed them how they can use ClickFunnels as a tool to actually build out the sales process that they've seen. And that for us changed everything, and it's blown up. And now that whole event is called the Funnel Hacking Event, and people come to it and we all just share funnels and show off what's working. And it's a ton of fun.
Wow. So Russell Brunson is not a genius. What a shocker. I mean, that'd make a great subject.
I'm not
line,
even
I
that
think.
smart, to be honest. So,
well, you got to be at least somewhat smart. I mean, you're pretty much the most ripped off marketer out there. I mean, you go ripping people off, but I mean, now everyone wants to rip you off. So I mean, that's pretty cool. So wait, so what are the things you're looking for when you quote unquote funnel hack? Like what, like the offer, the head, like what are you paying attention to?
a lot of things. And the first thing I'm looking at is like, what are people actually selling? Because I always tell people, like, if you want to funnel hack someone and if you want to be a good entrepreneur, you have to be good at pulling your wallet out of your pocket and buying someone's product. And like, well, I don't want to buy it. I can kind of tell what they're doing. I'm like, no, you got to understand, like, I want to buy the products. I want to see, like, after I purchase this thing and I log in the members there, like, what am I getting? Okay. And if I'm getting an ebook with 32 pages, I'm getting 14 videos and a software, like, I want to know exactly what I'm getting, like what the offer is, because you guys have figured out like, hey, like, I know these guys in the weight loss industry, they do over $100,000 a day right now in sales. And so when I funnel hack them, I was like, well, they've proven that people are spending a lot of money for something. Like, what is it that they're selling? Okay. I look at, like, most business, you learn this like in business school. I think I never went to business school, but I assume that they teach this, is like, you find someone that's got a good mousetrap, right? And he's like, there's a good mousetrap. How do I make a better one? Right. So I'm the same thing. Like, what are they actually selling? Okay, cool. I've got an ebook with 50 pages and they got 16 videos. I'm going to make an ebook that's better with 100 pages. And I'm going to have 300 videos or whatever that is. Right. But I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the mousetrap they're selling right now? And then how do I make it better? So that's the first thing, is understanding their offer. And it's the offer on the first thing they're selling, whatever the upsells are, the downsells. Like, I want to know exactly what the offer is. Second thing I'm looking at is like the page structure, right? Like, they have a video over here and an order button over here, or is the order button underneath the video? Does it appear later? Is it showing up? Like, what's the structure of the pages? And then from there, I'm looking, like, how do they actually sell? Like, what are the words on the page? What's the headlines? What's the video say? Every time I find a video that I know is working, I send it to rev.com. For $1 a minute, they'll transcribe the whole video. So I'll see a 15-minute sales video. I'll send it there. The next day, I pay $20 and I get the whole thing transcribed. And I can look and, like, wow, look at this. This is the sales video. How, I can see how they're selling it and understanding exactly what they're saying to get people to pull their credit card out of their wallet. And for me, like, that's how I've learned. That's how I've studied, is just by looking at what people are doing and then kind of pulling those pieces out. What's the offer? What's the structure? And then what's the copy that makes this funnel work?
Sweet. Now, obviously, Russell, you have a ton of your own products. You have, now you got the ClickFunnels, which is huge. Pretty much everyone uses that. I couldn't even begin telling you how many people who buy traffic from me come and they, send me their ClickFunnels links, etc. So, it's huge. I can attest to that. Now, but a lot of people listening to my podcast, my list builders, right? Many of my clients, they don't have their own products. They promote, like, network marketing companies, business opportunities and stuff like that, which is okay. But at some point, I always tell my VIP club members to eventually branch out into your own information product services and so on and so on. Now, you created your own information products back when you were going, in university. So can you talk a little bit more about that? How did you, where did you get the courage? Who gave you permission? Like, why did you go into information marketing?
That's a great question. When I got started, it was a different atmosphere than it is today. Like, this is pre-Facebook, the beginning of Google, pre-MySpace, pre-Friendstrike. This is like, it was different out there. And I was looking online and there weren't a million people selling e-commerce and Amazon and, all these things happening. Like, it was pretty basic. There were people, actually eBay was there, people making money on eBay. And I saw people making money selling information products. And I tried eBay first. I remember I would go to the thrift store down here by my house and I would go buy everything that I thought I could sell on eBay. And I was buying records and I was buying big boxes and books and all these, like, awkward shaped things, right? And I'd post them on eBay and I try to sell them. And, like, I'd buy this, like, I remember I bought this Michael Jackson record. I'm like, oh, Michael Jackson's awesome. Records are, like, rare. This thing should sell for like $100, right? So I think I paid like $12 for this record. I posted on eBay. I think I sold it for $14. I made $2 on it. And then I'd go to the post office and get a box to ship it in. And it was a weird shape. So I'd get a huge box. Anyway, I ended up making, like, I don't know, 3 cents from this thing, right? And I had like 20 of these things. So I think I spent 2 weeks selling stuff on eBay and I made, maybe $2 or $3. And probably lost them because some products didn't sell at all, right? I was like, this is hard work. And then one time I was at the post office, all like a wheelbarrow full of, like, odd shaped boxes and trying to, like, ship some things out. And I saw this guy walk through the door and he had this big, huge box full of CDs, like probably 500 CDs. and they were all the same size, same shape, same everything. And I was like, what? He walked up, handed them to the dude, walked out of the post office. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, he didn't have to do all the boxing and the ship, everything. I was like, what in the world? I'm like, hey, dude, quick question for you. I was like, what are you selling? And he was like, oh, I'm selling information products on CDs. And I was like, are you serious? Like, how much people pay for it? He's like, yeah, they pay, I think it was like $30 per CD. And he just dropped off probably 100 CDs. And I was like, anyway, whatever the math, like 3,000 or whatever that was. But in my mind, I was like, that's more money that I've made in my entire life combined. He just did it in one thing. And he had one CD. And he just kept burning it on a CD burner over and over and over again and shipping it out. And so I was like, I'm going to do, like, that sounds way better than buying stuff at the thrift store. So then I went online and I was trying to find info product. Like, I want to sell like something too. And I'm sure you probably did the same thing. I stumbled upon like these resale rights things. And I was like, are you kidding me? People were selling me rights to one of their books for like, I don't know, $10 or $20 and so I started buying some resale rights to some books, and then I started burning them on CDs. And I remember the first one I bought was this, it was like kids coloring things. You could like color like 1,000 coloring pages. So there's like, Ernie and Bert and Big Bird and all these like coloring pictures. And so I bought resale rights from this guy for $30 for the CD that had, I don't know, 1,000 different coloring pages for kids. And I started selling that, and it sold like crazy. It kept selling. So I had a CD burner. So I'd come home from school every day and I'd burn these CDs with these like, pages of coloring books and little ebooks and stuff. And I would send them out to people. And that kind of got me into the whole information business. And then I started selling information on how to sell potato guns, information on weight loss, information on, eventually affiliate marketing and things like that. And it kind of got me into that whole business. But I think a big part of it was just the fact that I loved that I didn't have to ship anything. At first I was shipping CDs. Then I found out people just like downloading things. So that got even better. We cut out the whole going to the post office thing. But I got addicted to information products, and I still am. I think that it's still the best way to go.
I agree with you completely. I found information marketing through network marketing. I started out network marketing, but I realized that the guys who were making, the most money were the ones who were selling information and tools and services to network marketers, like Jonathan Budd was big at the time, and Mike Dillard, who I'm actually going to be interviewing for the show as well. And it kind of hit me. It's like, wait a second, there's all these people that are heading for the gold, looking for the gold in mountains, and I can be selling them, the tools and the picks and the shovels. So it's a great position to be in. Now, here's a challenge with information products. A lot of people I talk to, when I tell them, look, create your information product, create your service, they don't feel that they are eligible to do that. They don't feel qualified to do that. They sort of bring this mindset from the offline world where it's like, if you want to be a doctor, get a doctor degree. If you want to be a lawyer, get a lawyer degree. If you want to be, a professional grave digger, get a grave digger degree. So what are your thoughts on that?
No, it's funny. I actually talked about this a lot at the event. I'm halfway through my next book, which is called Expert Secrets. That's about this topic specifically. Like, how do you become an expert and who qualifies you? And it's funny, when I first met Tony Robbins, he was telling me a story about when he was starting his whole journey and trying to become Tony Robbins, that he wanted to learn NLP. Like, this was this new science that was coming out at the time. And he went to the top people in the world, and he went to this like 6-month-long seminar or workshop, whatever it was, right? He goes to this thing. After 3 days, he's like, wow, I got some good stuff. I can go help people. And he's like, hey guys, let's go help some people. And they're like, no, you're not certified. He's like, but I have some tools that will help people. Like, I know what to do. I want to go help people. And they're like, no. And so he got all frustrated. So he walked across the street from the hotel, walked over to like a Holiday Inn or a gas station or something like that, and started grabbing people and started doing NLP and like fixing people, helping people quit smoking and helping people do all these things. And he was using this tool he had learned. And the people who run the certification program were so mad they actually kicked him out of it. And as you know now, Tony is the biggest proponent and teacher and educator of NLP in the entire world. I don't think he ever got certified because they kicked him out because he was too busy doing it as opposed to learning it, right? And I think it's a big thing. Like, for some reason, we think we have to be certified to be able to do things. And it's ridiculous. Like, right now I have a coaching group. It's $25,000 a year. I have 100 entrepreneurs in it. We're blocked out. We don't have any more room for anybody else. And it's funny because I asked the group, these entrepreneurs to pay me $25,000 a year to be in this group. And I was like, what do you guys think my credentials are to be teaching you marketing? And one person was like, I don't know, did you get it? Like, I assume you have a degree in business? I'm like, no, I don't. I was like, in fact, I got a C in my marketing class, barely graduated college, probably the least qualified person in this room, yet you're all paying me all this money for me to teach you and educate you. Why is that? And the only reason why is because I know what I'm doing. Like, I've had success. I've gotten results for people in the past, and they want those same results. And so I tell people, because a lot of times, like, our fear is like, I'm going to go and try to sell this thing and people are going to find out that I'm a fraud or I don't know what I'm talking about, whatever, like the internal fears we have are, right? And so for me, like, I'm a big proponent of flipping it around. Like, the first step is not to sell information products. The first step is you have to be able to get results for somebody, right? A good example of this is when we launched our mastermind program about 2.5, almost 3 years ago now. I didn't want to go out there and just tell people like, hey, I'm now internet marketing coach. I just certified myself. You should pay me 25 grand for me to teach you internet marketing, right? Like, cause that just seems annoying to me. And so I was like, I got to serve someone first. I got to show that I actually have the ability to change somebody's life. Cause if I don't, I don't deserve to do it, but I think I've got some stuff that's good. Right. And so I was looking around and I found this dude who I really kind of hit it off with. He had a company called Fit Life TV, and he was teaching people how to juice and how to lose weight through the, juicing. And I just really resonated with him as a person. And I was able to call him up and get a hold of him and flew out to meet him for a day and just really liked him, what he was doing. And when I was talking to him the first time, I could tell that there was like a lot of stress and pressure on him. And I was like, I just felt this thing like I could help them. And I don't know how, but I was just like, I know that they're, I think they're kind of struggling. And I'd love to see if I can help them. So I asked him, I'm like, hey man, I would love to fly back out here and spend a day with your team and just see if I can help, like see, just basically work for you for free and see if anything good comes from it. And he was like, well, what would you charge me for? And I'm like, I'm not going to charge you. I'll just do it for free. He's like, well, why would you do that? I'm like, I don't know. Like, you're cool. Maybe you can teach me some juicing stuff. And I think it'd just be fun to hang out and see if I can help. So reluctantly, I think he thought there's some kind of catch. He's finally like, all right, if you want to come. So I came out there and spent a day with them. And we worked on their existing sales funnel, some of the things they were doing right. We found some things they were doing wrong. And then they had an idea for this new supplement they were going to launch called Organifi. And I said, okay, cool. Let me show you my supplement funnel. I showed them mine. We walked through the strategy. I showed them the pricing structure, how to do the upsells and downsells, kind of just showed them everything that we were doing in my supplement company. And they said, thanks. And then I left. For the next 3 or 4 weeks, we communicated back and forth and just kind of helped them get things structured and set them up with the shipping warehouse, merchanting, and all the different pieces that kind of help them coordinate. And they are an amazing team. So like, I'm not taking all the credit by any stretch of the imagination. They're an amazing team. But I spent that time with them. They went and launched the supplement called Organifi, and it now does over $1 million a month. It has been for over a year, and they're killing it with it right now. And I had a chance to be a little piece in that, right? To help serve them and to give and to get a result for them. And so afterwards, like Drew was so thankful, he made me this video talking about the transformation they had, how much money they made from this funnel, and what it did for their business and how they're able to serve more people now and all these, just awesome things. So I took that video and I posted it online. I said, here's Drew, this kind of situation, I helped him out, and this is what his business looks like now. And if you're interested in working with me, you can apply down below. And we put that out there 2.5 years ago. And it wasn't me talking about how great it was somebody else talking about the result I had gotten for them. And from that, again, we have 100 people in my Inner Circle program now coming off of me sharing a result, right? And so the first step is not to go and try to sell info product. First step is, what do you know? What talents do you have? What things do you have that can change someone's life? And you need to go find someone to work for free. Okay, and go and just work your butt off, work for free, get that result. Because if you get a result for someone else, you can leverage that result for the rest of your business, right? So it can be anything. Let's say you're in weight loss. Like if you've got something, you help someone lose weight, don't go and try to sell something. Go find someone, help them lose a bunch of weight, and then get that result. And that result becomes now the tool you use to market everything else. That result is what certifies you as an expert in whatever it is you want to do. And so that's really the key, is serving first and getting a result for somebody. And then that becomes the platform for everything else you're trying to do. And that's how you certify yourself.
Nice. I like that. I mean, you can't argue with the results at the end of the day. Now, obviously, not everyone would want to work for free, but hey, everything comes at a price. And, as my favorite author, Mark Manson, says, everything sucks some of the time. So if you got to go and work for free to get some result, then, by all means do it. So that's pretty cool. I actually had this really good question, which I totally forgot, Russell, and never happens to me. But let's just move on. So you said you're writing your next book right now. So what's that all about?
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier my first books. My first book is called .com Secrets, and it was kind of helping people understand the whole psychology behind sales funnels and how they work, and how they interact with each other, and what sales scripts we use, and how to communicate with their audience, and all sorts of things like that. The second book is more specific. It's like, where do I start? Like, what's the first funnel I should build? And what's the second one? How does that relate to the first one? And what's the third one? And what's the actual process? And so that's what the second book about. It's kind of like the step-by-step, like from I'm a beginner startup, I don't know where to go. Here's the path and the process you follow to get to the point where you are an expert and a thought leader and things like that. So that's kind of what the second book is about.
Nice. Can we pre-order that?
As soon as I finish writing it.
No, but there's a trend now. People tend to sell books way before they've written them.
Yeah, I just know that it takes a lot. Like, I wrote my first book and that was hard. Like, I even had a helper helping me write it, and it was still like the hardest process ever. And this one's the same thing. Like, I'm just so picky. I don't want to write a bad book. So I don't know if it's gonna be done in a month or like 6 months or a year. So I'm not gonna pre-sell till I get a little closer to the finish line.
No, right. Very cool. And I respect that because, I see so many people out there, they're selling all this stuff, but they deliver like years after they sold it, right? And before the book is even out, they're New York Times bestseller and all this stuff. So, I can appreciate where you're coming from here. I respect that. So basically, guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, I can't really hold Russell for much longer because he's too busy making money. So what I recommend you do, you go to Amazon.com, pick up a copy of .com Secrets, and also go ahead and check out ClickFunnels if you still haven't, because that's a sweet little funnel software that pretty much does everything. I mean, you got the autoresponder, you got the split testing, tracking. I mean, it has all these features, right?
Yeah, we run our entire business off it now. People always ask me, well, what about, do I need Infusionsoft? I'm like, we integrate them, but you don't really need them. You can run it all through ClickFunnels. What about MailChimp or Aweber? I'm like, no, you can run the autoresponder through it. So what about, and it's just kind of cool. Like you can literally run we have, a business as well, rate figures a year, 100% run on ClickFunnels. And so, and we got, over, I think 13,000 other active customers who run their entire business on it as well. So it does the whole thing, does everything you need.
Wow. Sweet. And you know what I like is when a marketer creates a product for marketers. Like not when just a company gets into the marketplace, wants to make some money, but when someone who really, really went through, all the challenges we go through on a daily basis, trying to integrate this and that and the shipping and the email and the text messages and this and that. Like I can really appreciate what you've done here by creating a kind of like an be all end all solution. So we don't have to go and get, umpteen different services and somehow try to connect all them together through APIs and widgets and whatnot. So that's ClickFunnels.com, right?
Yep.
Sweet. So that's ClickFunnels.com for the software. That's go to Amazon.com to pick up the book, .com Secrets. I recommend you read it, especially the chapter about the character building and the trust. I mean, I really enjoyed that. And besides that, Russell, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. We appreciate your time. And until next time we talk, have a good one.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me. Talk soon.
Thank you for listening to The List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is the podcastfactory.com.